Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to start off by saying thank you to everyone for taking time out of your day to come join me, Jared Anderson, on this webinar. We're going to be going over AIG, limited distribution product that we're lucky enough to have access to here at IAMS. And Jared Anderson with Market Synergy Group, their product development company down in Topeka, Kansas. Lucky to have him on the line with us, who's going to share a lot of the features of both their safe accumulation product and their income story. We've got a very powerful income story to talk about, not only on the guaranteed income side, but also on the increasing income side, which is, as many of you know, probably one of my favorite topics to talk about. So I should probably share my screen real quick. There we go. So I'm going to just start off real quick with a couple of intro slides, and then I'm going to hand it over to Jared and let him share with you the information he's got for us today. So with that, I'm going to get going here. First thing I'm going to start to talk about is a couple of incentives we've got available here at IAMS. I always like to start with the new producer bonus. So if you're brand new to IAMS or just recently joined IAMS, you've got this available for you. If you've seen this slide before, you can see we've added a lot of great options on this, but essentially on this, you've got 6 months to qualify for this new producer bonus. So index annuity premium, single premium life business would count. As you can see, it really gives you the opportunity to earn some really nice marketing assistance, anywhere from radio to seminars to social media campaigns to cash reimbursement money. You know, a lot of great options here. The goal with this is when you join IAMS, for us to be able to partner with you off those first few pieces of business you write, and essentially help you grow your business. So if you're curious where you stand on the new producer bonus or have any questions about the program, feel free to give your marketer at IAMS a call. We'd be happy to answer those questions. I will make two little questions or mention two things. Fixed business does count for half the premium as far as the new producer bonus goes, and controlled business does not count. So always like to point that out. Don't want to disappoint people later down the road. So like to just make sure that disclaimer's out there. Once you cash out your new producer bonus, we do move you into a marketing reimbursement program. So for all the business you're writing with IAMS, whether it be on the life or the annuity side, you're going to be earning these marketing dollars. The way the program works is, so for every 100,000 of annuity premium, you're going to get $100 of marketing reimbursement. It's put into an account. You pay for marketing expenses, send us the receipts, we reimburse you. It does count for your life business as well. So for every 100,000 of single premium life, you would get $200 of marketing reimbursement. And for every 10,000 of life target premium you write, you'll be earning $200 as well. So again, just a great way for IAMS to partner with you with these programs, help you assist you with the marketing, and hopefully help you grow your business. We've also got a referred producer program. As you all know, your business is built on referrals, and so is ours. So the way this program works, you know, a lot of agents maybe don't want to take on the responsibility of having an agency. So the way we do this program is when you refer an agent over to us, and they get contracted, you're going to get $50. When they write their first piece of business, you'll get 100, and then going forward, we're going to get you 20 basis points on all the business they write. So these checks are sent out quarterly. We don't pay them out on a daily basis, but it's a great way to get some extra money off of a referral without having to take on the liability of potential chargebacks or cases going backwards, things like that. So I think it's a great way for us to say thank you for those referrals. If you've got an agent who might benefit from the services you're receiving from your marketer at IAMS, just go ahead and give that name, email address over to the marketer, and we'll be happy to follow up with them. A couple other things I'm going to talk about. One thing is here at IAMS, as part of our name, Insurance Agency Marketing Service. It's part of our name. It's the #1 goal we have here at IAMS. It's not to be the biggest FMO in the industry, but to be #1 when it does come to service. We believe that that starts with picking up the phone every time you call. So if you've ever called IAMS, you know that you always get a live person. If you asked our top 100 guys why they do business with IAMS, I can almost guarantee you that most of them, that'll be something they mention. The fact that we do answer the phone every time they call. No voicemail, none of that. We really believe that if we can, you know, if I'm out of the office and you left me a message and I don't get it for 3 days, you know, if you call the office and, hey, she's out of the office, what can I do to help? You know, that's really the goal, is to get your needs met when you need them met. couple other things that we've got, here at IAMS, we really want to focus, like I said, being that back office. We can take some things off your plate. That just allows you to do what you do best, and that's being out in the field. So that's going to come down to case design. That's going to help with some of your marketing stuff, which we'll dive into here in a minute. When you need forms, making sure you're compliant to write business, both, like I said, annuity and life quotes. Those are things that we can assist you with. And if we can take that time to do that for you, that just frees up some more time for you to meet with clients. So we think that's really important. We do have a paperless contracting system as well. We are insurance based, so really slick process as far as getting appointed with IAMS, especially if you're already on insurance pay. It makes it really easy. So um, really just trying to make it easier for you all to do business. So again, service would be our number one priority here. And hopefully you have felt that every time you've called in. We are really excited to be partnered with Firelight. If you've been in the annuity business for any length of time, you probably are familiar with Firelight. More and more carriers are adopting the EAP system. Been telling agents for a long time to get used to it, and then a world pandemic happens and they have to use it. So we're seeing a lot of traction with Firelight. What's really nice about it is through our website, which I'll show you here in a minute. You do have access to 3 EAP systems: Firelight, which is pretty well known in the annuity world, some life carriers as well. We've got IGO EAP for the life side, and then we've also got a Medicare Connect, which will allow you to do pretty much all your business through EAP on our website. What's nice about this is you have a single sign-on, and with one sign-on to our website, you can access multiple carriers. So I'm going to show you, here's a list of some of the carriers you can see that are already on there. You'll see some that are coming soon. I will mention the 2 that say coming soon have actually already been added to our website. So the products we're going to hear about today are on our Firelight system on our website, and same with Sagicor. So several more that are in the works right now, and hopefully have them transitioned over here very shortly. So another nice thing is if you're doing these on our website, and you get stuck somewhere, you can give Amber a call and she can actually log in, see where you're at, and be able to help you get that completed or answer any questions you may have. So really nice capability with this program. So EAPs are the way of the future, whether we like it or not. So nothing like I said, the pandemic to help us shift that way. Mentioned marketing. Marketing is always important when I'm talking to new agents. First thing they're always saying to me is how you're going to help me get in front of more clients. So with that, we've got a creative team, full service creative team that can help from any web design to logos to business cards to social media marketing, drip email marketing. You want to send a newsletter out to all your clients. All those things we can do here internally at IAMS using your marketing dollars, or if you're doing a business, all your business here at IAMS, a lot of those services just come to you for free of cost. So a great way to let us, again, partner with you on the marketing side of the business too, because, the goal is if we can help you grow your business, then we can grow ours as well. So make it a mutually beneficial relationship. Our website, as you can see on the screen, is www.imsinc.com. A lot of great tools out there. I mentioned Firelight and our EAP solutions. Good thing that that's awesome. It's been a great tool that we've added to our website. Also, we've got both life and annuity quoting tools out there. Through our website, you actually can get access to Annuity Rate Watch, which is a tool that I use all the time to compare other products in the industry, make sure that what I'm providing to my client is the best fit for them. You've got, current rate sheets out there, forms. Really, we want to have our website be a one-stop shop where you can get anything you need. But one of my favorite spots on the website is our sales resource library. It's under the support tab, and really it's a library of resources all for you guys, whether it be fact finders or financial calculators, or, you got a client who says, hey, Joe, I need to know, what is a fixed index annuity? What is a cap? Well, there's a 7-page little paper out there that tells you anything you need to know about an indexed annuity. And those can be customized with your logo and your name and stuff. So some really great tools. I really encourage you to go out there. If you've never visited our website, like I said, it's there on the screen. You can jot that down. If you want a quick tutorial through the website. Give your marketer at IAMS a call. Anyone who answers the phone should be able to help you with that, or just talk with any of the life or annuity marketers. A couple years ago, when we all knew the DOL was kind of looming over our heads, Stephen Charles said it was time, and we joined in the RIA space. So we do have RIA in this office, IAMS Wealth Management. Charles Jr. does and his team do a great job for our advisors. You know, when we built this wealth management team, we really built the platform for the insurance producer. You know, let you do what you do best, collect those assets, and let us handle the management and helping you with those. So I think it's a really great aspect, and I think it's really important for any financial advisor or annuity life agent to have in their back pocket. You know, I see agents all the time going to homes. Client has 400,000, and AIG can only take 150 of it. You know what, or 200,000 of it. What are you going to do with those remaining funds? Because if you're not doing something with it, you're just allowing another agent to potentially come in and steal that client. So we think it's a really good asset to have in your back pocket. I am going to throw a poll question. If you're curious about just the platform, maybe you're curious about getting your license and want to know what steps you need to take to get it. It does take your Series 65, or if you're a CFP, we can get registered as well. I'm going to throw a poll question up. If you are interested, just go ahead and answer yes to that question. And then what we'll do is we'll have Mike Hansen, Charles Jr., one of those two, give you a shout later today or tomorrow, answer any questions you may have on it. We also do have a soliciting program. So depending on the state you live in, you know, there could, if you maybe just looking to get out of the business soon and have some clients you want to still be able to kind of be in control of their assets. If you refer those clients over to IAMS Wealth Management, they can manage them for you. You know that they're safe with IAMS. No one else is going to be getting after them. If you're studying for your test, you know, good way to build up some assets. And once you pass your test, we can transfer those clients back to you. But then depending on the state you live in, there's a possibility we could be paying you a portion of that commission as well, or that fee that's charged to the client. So that is very dependent on state, but another great avenue, great way to have, like I said, all those tools in your back pocket. So we find it very important. So if you do answer yes to that, that'll just be generating a phone call from the wealth management team. All right, I only got a couple more, I promise. Next, we got the Life in the Annuity Academy. This is probably one of my favorite things to talk about. IAMS has been doing these for, man, I date back 14, 15 years we've been doing these. And I think this is a great investment of your time and a great opportunity to have meet with other agents, some of the top people in the industry, rub shoulders with them, and learn not only it's not annuities one-on-one, it's more sales concept, techniques. How can we help you grow your business? That is the goal of this. It is all expense paid. So we not only cover your flights and your meals and your hotel, but we bring in a lot of great speakers, some of those being our top producers here at IAMS, who are going to come in and share their exact marketing plan with you. Here's what I've been doing to get in front of more clients. Here's what's working, here's what's not. Because if we can help you grow your business, like I said, that's helping us grow ours. So really that's the goal with these academies. So all expense paid. We usually do partner with one of our carriers to do this. We were supposed to have the first one just about 2 weeks ago up at Athene's home office. Unfortunately, thanks to COVID, we had to postpone that. So we probably won't be doing another one till probably late summer, early fall. So it is something we're planning on doing a couple of them once the states open up a little bit more. But only requirement to come is we do require that you are contracted with IAMS. There is no business requirement, you know, production requirement to get in, but we're looking to partner with people. So those people who are looking to, you know, partner with IAMS, grow your business, let us assist you. Those are the people we want in the seat. So keep an eye out for our emails. Once we do have some dates on the calendar, we'll be sure to get those out to you all. Last thing I'm going to talk about is one of the things people love to talk about most, and that's trips. So I'm going to talk about two different trips we've got coming up. Well, kind of 2.5 trips, I should say. First one is we're lucky enough to have a very good relationship with Athene, and Athene partners with us annually on a IAMS Athene only trip. So this year we're going to be taking down Anyone who does 3 million with Athene production, qualification started July of last year, runs through June of this year, so still plenty of time to get the business in. But that would get you and a guest down to Cabo at the Montage. We're really excited about this. And again, that is just Athene production. So just a great way for IAMS and Athene to say thank you for the partnership, thank you for the business, and really just give you a chance to relax with your significant other, your best friend, whoever you take with, play some nice golf courses, have some spa time, and just really let us spoil you and say thank you for the business you're doing with us. Second trip I'm going to talk about is the IAMS only, like the IAMS specific trip, our top producer escape. So qualification for our trips are 18-month. So qualification did start in July of last year, but it does run through December of this year. So lots of time to qualify. 3.5 million gets you and a guest down to Mexico for March 7th through the 11th of next year. Again, golf courses, spa, just a great time for us to relax with you and hopefully show you what the feeling of being part of the IAMS family feels like. You know, I've got a lot of guys who go on one of these trips and tell me they'll never miss another one. So we're really excited about this. What we're doing this year is we're doing kind of two parts to it. So 3.5 million gets you and a guest on the first part of the trip. 6.5 million qualifies you for the elite part of the trip, which will kind of piggyback, go off to another island, stay at a Four Seasons, play some more golf, do some more spa time, relax on the ocean. So we're really excited about it. But 6.5 million qualifies you, 8.5 million guarantees you a spot. Here we're looking to bring our top 15, 20 guys on this trip to the second part. So if you're curious where you stand for any of the trips as far as qualification goes, we should have the updated numbers for April here any day now. But give anyone at IAMS, again, who answers the phone should be able to let you know where you stand. Again, all your life, annuity, Medicare, all your business that you write with IAMS counts for trip credits toward this. So if you have any questions, though, again, how those trip credits work, give your marketer at IAMS a call. They can answer that for you. So with that, I am going to hand it over to Jared. Again, Jared is with Market Synergy Group. And he can tell you a little bit more about Market Synergy and what they've done, but they've got some unique products. Some of you were on the webinar with us a couple weeks ago about Bright House. We're happy enough or excited to have that relationship as well. But he's going to dive into AIG's product today, talk a little bit about the new indexes we've had come out, talk a little bit about where they're really competitive. So with that, Jared, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Laura.
And here you go.
Let me see if I can do this correctly. Can you see my screen, Laura?
I can. You might want to make it full screen because it shows your
Hold
next
on
slide.
just a second. How about that?
Perfect. Looks good.
Excellent. Perfect. Well, thank you, Laura, and thank you for all of you who've joined the webinar today. As Laura mentioned, my name is Jared Anderson from Market Synergy Group. What we're going to do today is talk to you briefly about our AIG product series that we first started with when we developed our company back in 2014. As Laura mentioned, we're a product development and distribution company who does exclusive distribution through a handful of organizations, and certainly IAMS being one of our key partners in regards to that. As you can see on the screen, we've done product development for AIG as well as Bright House Financial, and as she mentioned, some of you may or may not have been on that call a couple weeks ago. But our thought process, our idea is how can we design product that is first and foremost exclusive to our key partners, and secondly, something that is very beneficial to both the client and the advisor. An easy story to tell, an easy story to talk about, a good product in and of itself by design. So in regards to the AIG products, Power, Protect, Grow, Create Income for Life, we've got a couple different solutions that we'll go through with you this morning. First and foremost being our simple, safe accumulation. And then secondly, what I've found to be one of our more popular products that we've designed, the increasing income option with the AIG Power Select Plus Income with Multiplier, and we'll talk about that here in a second. There are 3 different products within the series of products we did, the Builder 8, which is a shorter term product with a bonus. We won't spend a whole lot of time with that. It's simply a simple, safe accumulation 8-year product. In addition to that, the Builder, and spend a little bit more time on the Power Select Plus income. First and foremost, as she mentioned, I wanted to talk to you about the variety of different crediting options that we've created with big names with the AIG Power series of products. From left to right, you can see on the screen there the 5 different crediting options that are available, and we'll talk a little bit about how we recommend the allocations to get what we consider to be optimal for you and your clients. But Russell 2000, S&P 500, the AB All Markets is the new one Laura was referencing. Alliance Bernstein has been a fantastic partner. This one just launched at the end of 2019. We've seen a tremendous amount of allocation just due to this story and really how the mechanics behind this specific crediting option work. In addition to that, the Merrill Lynch Strategic Balance, which is a very simple volatility controlled index to explain. It's got some lower targets that gives us a pretty good consistent return. And then the PIMCO Global Optima, which is higher on the equity side. That's kind of our home run hitter. That's the one that we hope to see some double-digit returns. But with anything, there's give and take, and that one tends to be one that's either up really high or kind of flat or following the market, if you will. Whereas the other ones have fixed income components that will be more consistent, which is something that we liked in our design. So just a brief overview for each of them. Excuse me, the PIMCO Global Optima is really like a portfolio, quite frankly, where it's international, emerging markets, large cap, small cap, mid cap, with daily adjustments in and out of cash and treasuries. So that's a real equity focused. If you think about a portfolio that you would potentially build for a client as an RIA, this is very similar to that, therefore giving you those equity-like returns in high markets. As I mentioned earlier, the ML Strategic Balance Index is a really simple crediting options where it's just the S&P 500 and Treasury futures based on allocation with volatility in the marketplace. This one has been very consistent for us, and it's one that we like very well. It's been a very popular crediting option for us as well. To use a baseball reference, oftentimes we talk about the MLSB being a singles and doubles type of a strategy that's going to be consistent throughout your term of your contract, whereas the PIMCO is kind of a home run. The AB All Market Index is really a combination of both. I mean, we've really dug in with Alliance Bernstein, and this is an exclusive index only offered on the Market Synergy Group product line. But we've really dug in and tried to take a deeper dive into the vol control world that we live in today. 7, 8, 10 years ago, these weren't even options, and now every single product, every single carrier has them. So we wanted to be different with this one. So it's global diversification, 20 different markets and fixed income markets as well. Momentum-based allocations and a unique source of returns. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I mean, the terminology used, I think, makes a lot of sense for both you and your potential client. We have growth and defense. Risk is allocated equally between both based on current economic environments. And we have different markets, as you can see on the right side there, for both equities as well as bonds. In addition to that, one of the things that they do is they really take a deep dive into historical numbers. Okay, traditionally speaking, what I've found in volatility control indexes is oftentimes they're illustrating well due to a heavy allocation into the fixed income asset class. With this, what we're doing is we're taking 12,000 different daily outcomes to show that 94% of the time you actually would have received a return in this index due to the mechanics around its momentum and the signals that it uses in order to allocate on a daily basis. So a unique story that I don't want to go too deep into detail on, but would ask that you call your marketer at IAMS, get some information on it, and get a better understanding, because as I mentioned, this one is really taking off and has been a pretty good option as far as selection in the last several months in regards to what we're looking at here. Couple things that we want to talk about is the moving average and the crossover. The moving average calculates an average asset price, placing more emphasis on recent data. The benefit to that is it helps with early identifications of rallies or sell-offs. I think that you'd be hard-pressed to find others that are doing something like this. The crossover compares the moving average price of an asset over shorter and longer periods, and then provides greater context and helps prevent the index from moving too quickly. Also key to a volatility-controlled index. Alerts when alerts when assets move outside of the established trading range, and it signals a notable shift in the market's view of an asset. So these are all things that we're taking into consideration with Alliance Bernstein to help have a consistent return for you and your client. Okay, what we want to do quickly here is just show you a simple, safe accumulation story with the builder. One of the things that I would emphasize in this pandemic, as Laura mentioned, that we're dealing with is company strength, right? AIG, American General, is an A+ rated carrier, one of the largest insurance companies in the world. And really what we're looking for is those individuals who say, here's a portion of my assets that I don't want to take any risk in losing, and I'd like to see a consistent return above, current interest rates, or above what I can get in a CD, or above what I can get in a fixed annuity. So just a quick allocation. One thing I want to focus on here that we'll touch base on here in a moment is how we've allocated. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is we want to be as consistent as possible with both you and your clients. And the way we look at things, allocating 100% into the highest illustrated, for lack of a better term, is something that we never recommend. When one yings, the other yanks. That's how we look at things. And it looks, we'll go into a deeper dive as I mentioned, but our philosophy has always been diversification is something that every client should look at. If a client walked into your office and said, hey, here's my last advisor, and I sit down and I had 100% allocation into GM stocks, I mean, you would be frothing at the bit, so to speak. I mean, you have to have diversification in the client's portfolio. Annuity should be no different. When we have all these different options, this is a great solution in order to get them a consistent return that they're looking for in an FIA. The next slide that we're going to talk about is improving those reset results by diversifying, is exactly like I talked about. We, beyond product development and distribution, we do a lot of analytical research in regards to the indexed annuity world, and we try and figure out a way to get historical average returns with the fewest reset periods without an index credit. So we do all the research to determine, based on backcasted numbers, what if we did 3/4 AB and a quarter in the 2-year and a quarter into the spread, or what if we went a little bit further beyond that and combined all of our volatility control strategies. Okay, over a 30-year time frame, focusing on the middle here, we know that historically speaking, that's a 535 average annual return. Over the last 30 years, you would have never had to have a conversation with your client about getting a zero. So our biggest emphasis with this accumulation opportunity is diversification in both 1- and 2-year crediting options, as well as the different volatility controlled indexes that are provided within the product selection that you make. Pointed out here again, a combination of all three of them, half, quarter will get you that 535 annualized return, which quite frankly is very competitive in today's interest rate environment. And I'll be quite blunt, it's quite realistic as well. I oftentimes cringe or get frustrated with competition when we're seeing double-digit returns, when an FIA is absolutely, without a doubt, not designed to do that. FIAs from the very beginning, going back to 1995 when they were first introduced, were always designed to give the client a better opportunity to outpace current interest rates, not to have double-digit returns with no downside risk. So this is something that's realistic, something that we believe in, and the diversification will absolutely get them where we think that it should be. Okay, shifting gears here a little bit, we want to talk to you about our income options that we have on the Power Select series of annuities from AIG as well. Lifetime Income Plus Flex, as well as the Lifetime Income Plus Flex Multiplier that we'll talk about. The Flex is fairly simple, okay? It's a simple, safe guarantee. We know, as Laura mentioned earlier, oftentimes you as an advisor, or even Laura as an employee of IAMS, will go out onto Annuity Rate Watch. They'll say, okay, here's my scenario, 65, deferring 1 year, need to take income, who's the highest? We know that's how it works. Guaranteed income is a fluctuating game, for lack of a better term. Carriers jump in, they jump out, they do things for a while where they're number 1 and then they drop to number 7 or 8. But AIG has been very consistent in that, and they've been moving with the market, which Laura and I were discussing before the call. Makes a lot of sense to me for long-term purposes. What we're going to focus more on here is the Multiplier Flex, which is something that is unique in our design and something that we think makes a lot of sense, especially for those early income scenarios. Just a quick snapshot of where payout factors are. When we think about income riders, there's important things that come into the overall number that's ultimately produced, but ideally what you as an advisor are looking for is what's my client's income going to be, and what can I talk to them about, and we need to know that they have that for life, and we'll move on from there. So referencing the multiplier, I'm going to move on to the next slide here. This is the easiest one to understand. This is our double and match, okay? So the easiest way to understand this, during the deferral stage, your client is going to get a 200% credit to their income base based on the performance of the index. Once they elect income, they get what we refer to as a paycheck increase, okay? So if, for instance, the client receives 5% during the income payout phase, their income goes up by 5%. Clients receiving $10,000 a year, 5% return on the equity allocation or on the index allocation, client now has $10,500 locked in for life. Big deal, especially for those early income scenarios. This is just another quick snapshot of how that works. Double during the deferral stage. Client receives a 5% credit to their contract value. Their income base will actually receive 10 and an increase by that dollar amount proportionally. Okay, so here's just a quick illustration if you look at this, okay, and then we'll go on to something a little bit deeper. But as you can see, here's $1 million policy for a 65-year-old turning on income immediately. That's another thing I'll point out. Not very often will you find income riders that allow the client the ability to turn on income immediately. This one you can turn on within 30 days of issue. So in this specific scenario at 4.8% payout at age 65, you can see that the client starts at $48,000. That's their guaranteed worst case scenario, zeros for the next 30 years. They're going to get $48,000 for the rest of their life. Using our optimal allocation, as you can see here in the top right-hand corner, you can see that that $48,000 actually grows to $107,760. And what is that? That's a 2.85% rate of return because we got a lot of zeros in there. Once the contract value equals zero, we lock that number in for life. But if you think about when a client's trying to spend money and when they're in their retirement stages, it's those first few years when they see this increase and they're keeping up with what we oftentimes will refer to as equity inflation. So a minimal return will give them the ability to grow that number. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think the highest 65-year-old deferring zero, and Laura could get you this information, is probably around $53,000 or $54,000 in this scenario, but that number is guaranteed to be locked in for the rest of their life. What we're trying to do is give them an opportunity to see a raise every single year that they get an interest credit. And as you can see from a very conservative illustrated number, we're growing from $48,000 to $107,000. One of my favorite slides here is if we put 100% allocation into the S&P 500, simply for explanation purposes to help clients understand specifically how this income rider works, okay? So here's 100% allocation to the S&P 500 through some pretty negative years, okay? We're looking at 1999 to 2009. 3 negative years, 4 negative years. The overall average return of the S&P 500 for this time frame was actually negative. Okay, negative 0.61%. But as you can see, due to the fact we have annual reset, we actually grow that from 48 to almost 52,000 in a negative 10-year time frame in the S&P 500. So that's a pretty big deal if you think about that. What we're looking at is how can we give the client the guaranteed income that they know they need, but also the ability to potentially keep up with what we refer to as equity inflation. There's really not a whole lot of other products out there on the marketplace like this. And this is where we've seen a tremendous amount of our business starting to go. So very unique, very different, very consumer friendly, as I mentioned at that very beginning. Looking for an accumulation type of an opportunity with really good crediting options through Alliance Bernstein, Merrill Lynch, PIMCO, very big names combined with AIG and A+ rated carriers, been very successful with what we're trying to accomplish. So again, that was a quick overview. I know everybody has tons of things going on. We're trying our hardest to figure out ways to allow you to get in front of clients. What I would suggest to you is think about the carriers that you've sold in the past or over the last couple of months, income related. Call Laura, call any of the team at IAMS. Ask them to run you a quick multiplier illustration to get a better understanding as to exactly how this works. Or if you're looking for a 10-year product that has simple, safe accumulation with some really good crediting options that are going to be consistent throughout the term of your contract, we have the builder as an option as well. IAMS has been a fantastic partner of ours. As I mentioned, this is exclusive distribution, so working with them means that you have access to not everybody in your neighborhood, competition-wise, is going to have. It's through a handful of the organizations that we've chosen to work with. So with that, Laura, I think that we can maybe turn it over for any questions, or also recommend that they call the marketer that they work with at IAMS. And, if we need to, you and I can set up one-on-one phone calls to go deeper into this. But really what I wanted to emphasize is our income opportunity with the multiplier, as well as our accumulation opportunity provided with some very strong indexes from some very well-known indices and companies. So With that, I'll turn it back over to Laura. I went as quick as I could. I know you guys are busy, but wanted to get this information to you, as much as possible to get you a better understanding of what we're dealing with, and hopefully provide you with some questions and some great products, because we're really excited with where we stand competitively.
Thank you, Jared. Yeah, I was just going to point out we only had one little question came in. Someone was asking what kind of, it is an index product. It's not a variable. So, what else is really nice about it is it's a 1010 compliant. So even in some of those off states where some of the more competitive products may not be available due to surrender charges and stuff, it is fully available in those states. So we're really excited to be able to have a product that's competitive and still available in all the states. So we do like that a lot. One other thing I would just also mention, I follow a lot of these indexes a lot of the time, and I got an interesting phone call from well, I'll tell you two examples. One of them was with the Multiplier. I did a policy review with someone. Their policy review renewed just at the end of March. They got in good timing there, but client ended up earning almost 16% interest in the Merrill Lynch and the combo they had, but most of it was in the Merrill Lynch, which led in that multiplier to $189 a month increase. That was huge. Those are the kind of phone calls we enjoy having from clients or from agents that we get, when we're doing policy reviews. The other thing I will point out is that if you track these indexes at all, even year to date, or you looking at the 1 year return, a lot of indexes have kind of gone down with, all the instability in the markets and stuff. But Merrill Lynch is still up over 13% on the 1 year return. So even clients, had a guy email me the other day. This is the second thing I was going to mention. Guy emailed me and said, "Can you please explain how my client earned 8% interest with everything that's just gone on?" And the joy of volatility control indexes is these are indexes that are managed on a regular basis. And so, when things do get volatile, they do have the capability to move that over to cash and really, give the client the opportunity to still see positive index returns, even during, the craziness that we've seen over the last several months. So just a couple things that I've noticed recently as well. Someone else asked if there was a recording of this. There is. Following this webinar, Alex in my office, my assistant, will be emailing each of you the brochures on the products that Jared covered today, as well as a recorded version of the webinar. So we will get that out to you today, and then I'll follow up with you all on a one-on-one basis to see what questions you may have. So I didn't have any other questions. Jared, again, we really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk with us about these products, and I hope you all have a great Thursday.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks.